Shalom everyone. I hope that you are doing absolutely fantastic. Thanks for joining for just a little chit chat. So if you are returning, welcome back guys. And those of you who are brand spanking new, listen, my channel might be a little bit different type of a channel than what you're used to. I get on my channel sometimes just any old way. I share whatever the great divine wants me to share. And I could come across real churchy and religious, but I'm really not. I do have a Hebraic descent, and I love Jehovah Elohim, maker of heaven and earth. And he is the one that gives us worth. He is the great Yeshua, our salvation. He has many names, and people call him the universe. And anyway, it gets just real intense sometimes on my channel. So, if you stay, you stay. If you don't, then it doesn't make me any. Never mind. Thanks for checking me out. Please go find your place in the earth, because all of us have a place somewhere. Many of you all who have been with me for a long time and has followed me know that I have shared on the channel before that, and many people know in my readings, I don't put the spirit in a box. We allow the spirit to speak expressively, because he does. And Jehovah told me many years ago not to discard any kind of phonics in any way, shape, or form that they could be, expressed or be conceived by way of what was going on around us. And so that's why I use phonics and stuff like that. And, Jehovah has been addressing, and I just shared, and those of you all missed it, I'll put it down below. I just shared in Isaiah, he was talking about a rebellious house. And I shared how the procession of the age that we are in and going into is Aquarian, the house of Aquarius. And that is a rebellious house in the tarot and things like that. We've been getting the towers, and I did the cardinal-fixed-mutable sign readings through May 5th. And so if you missed those will also be down below. And one of those readings had the tower twice that appeared. And after I had read that portion of scripture, and in that scripture that I read to y'all, it's talked about the day that the towers fell. And Jehovah has been for quite some time addressing prideful, nasty people, and he brought out a scripture also stating about brutish people and fools, that they don't know that when stuff just springs up from their evilness, that they don't have a clue. They have no idea that Jehovah's just using their stipidness to knock them down. The scripture says he likes to keep his eyes on the proud to bring it down. He can't stand it. He just can't stand the proud. And he'll bring it down every single time. And so that scripture came out in that other reading, and those of you all caught that, talked about brutish people and fools. They don't have a clue that when they're all springing up at once, that something huge is fixing to take place. And we had stuff out in those readings where a bunch of people and a sea of people and death. The card was there twice in one of those readings, and in the Hebrew we know that's the mem, and it goes back to the sea itself. And there's so much here that I'm going to go into. I'm not saying that something on this day is taking place, but I am saying that I know that the Jehovah's word is it will never return to him void. But there's something to the phonics of Cinco de Mayo. Jehovah speaks to me in a very profound way. And so, Cinco de Mayo, which is May 5th. If that's your birthday, happy birthday. I hope nothing bad happens to you. It's, it's a victory day that was celebrated, and I guess it's still celebrated in parts of Mexico. I went online to kind of look up a little bit about it. But it was obviously a military victory. Actually, in one of the readings today, the outcome had the little soldier card there. And so something could very much be happening for a lot of people. I mean, all over the world, every day things happen. Jehovah states every day he shakes out wicked people out of the earth and things like that. But on a reading that I did, there was a soldier card there that did come out. And so this would be connected on May 5th to a military type day of the victory. With the connection to Mexico and the French is there. Okay. But let's look at this Cinco de Mayo in a different way. Sink, I-N-K. Well, let's look at the sink. Y'all remember, I know y'all can't see this very well. I apologize. I tried to look for a marker and I couldn't find one. So basically just listen. I'm just writing as we go and thinking out loud on the video. Not too long ago, it was on a Shabbat. We had a reading that we did, and something about the sink, to drink something from your sink was there. And that was a huge reading. But the word, so sink, pay attention to what you drinking on, you know, the next few days. And I actually got on there and spoke about drinking bottled water. Jehovah, in that portion of scripture that I was reading, was stating how he gave the waters of adversity and things like that. We know in the book of Revelation we can go and find bitter water and stuff like that, which actually will take us back to the 11th house, because the star can be found there. And when stars fell to the ground, that goes to wormwood and stuff like that, and it is a connection to waters and things like that. So everything really is intertwined, and it's really amazing how Jehovah will bring a thing out. But sink. All right, so we got water can be, you know, drunk from the sink, but to sink, a ship can also sink. Okay, we're talking about military stuff, and not too long ago, you overstated World War III and things like that. We've seen a lot of people pass away in a lot of different types of ways through wars, even on a local level. You know, just even in your own home, it seems like you've been going through an energetic World War III. You know, within things, but we've got a ship energy here, okay, obviously, because this will go back to military anyway, like I said. But we also got music here, and to sync, when you're singing, to get in sync with something as well in the phonics is also here, okay. Oftentimes we'll see people plotting things and getting into sync with something, or there's some type of situation with the music itself, which still would take us back to the 11th house, because the stardom energy is there, and Jehovah brought out movie star energy as well. So the Cinco and the O is the full, which would take us to that foolish, rebellious house. By God, it's there. And you don't have any kind of wars unless there is some type of prideful stuff, and somebody's going to get sunk because Jehovah said so, okay? However, that asteroid's going to come down to sink somebody. It's going to take place because Jehovah is doing a major thing, and he's just confirming something. So let every word be established within 2 or 3 witnesses. However, the Spirit needs to express it in that way. So the O is here. The O in the runes takes us back to organization. It takes us back to assets. Inheritances can be found there. Family can go back to the O itself. It's huge. It's huge energy. So the full is here, okay? The D. Well, if we just take the letter D, your name could be D. It's something around. If you're in the upright, then you're in the upright. But the name D could be found here. But the D in the Hebrew would be the Dalet, the door. All right, the key to something. Only Jehovah can open and shut a door that no man can shut. The emperor would be here. The boss would be here. We had the boss come out in the fixed sign readings, which the full is a fixed sign as well, and it's stiff-necked and it has to come down. So we got headship stuff coming out here within this wording in the phonics. That's interesting. We also have, we would also find protection here with this, okay? Excuse my handwriting. Like I said, I'm just jotting down something. So that's huge. So the next word would be the my, the M and the Y. This was interesting to me. This can go back to anything, to being selfish, the greedy, mine. No, mine. It's mine. It's mine type of energy would be found here. But we also have, if you read it the other way, it's yum. That word, yummy, eating something, consumption, We had wording in that portion of scripture about the fire coming down like his tongue as well. That's huge, people. That's huge. A big old fire type of something there. And we're talking about sinking in the ship, and when he came back to judge and things like that, then the flood would be like a fire. And so it's a lake of fire. And so we've got that word then showing up here in the Hebrew, one direction. I can't remember which way it goes, but it goes back to that kind of stuff, being in fear. And the sea type of energy would be there. And if you go do, you all would remember, those have been with me for a long time, but we can trace back the sea to where Leviathan is found there in the sea. So, you know, anyway, and Leviathan is said to be proud. The full is here. Okay? Me, 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 me. It's all about me, 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 me. Look at me. I'm in the stardom. Me, me, me. And I sign a contract and me, 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 me. And there's organization here and things like that. It's huge, dear. It is. And so, Cinco de Mayo. And then we've got another full. Because what comes around goes around. And all that. Okay, now. DEMI. Or DEMI, if we spelled it with an I, a DEMI. Is it a demigod type of energy? Some people do think they're God. They do think they're God. Demis. Got a part of a demon in here as well. That's interesting. Let's look at this, the D in the way that it is spelt here. If you read it the other way, we have ed. We have education. We got movies found here, and I'll show you why. We have the horse is found here. Of course, the talking horse. That would take you back to movies as well. Ed, the talking horse. So those of you who aren't old enough to understand what I'm talking about, a long time ago, when my parents were, anyway, when I was a youngster, they had a series called The Talking Horse, and Jehovah brought the horse out all over the place. Do you guys see how expressive the spirit is, and will just literally appear in all kinds of forms? And we need to not be dumb to certain things that could be around us, and have our eyes open to really see something here. Something's very huge, possibly on this day. We also have Delaware here. Okay? Again, I'm not saying that something's going to happen on this day, but yet again, I am showing all of the things that are appearing within words, and how again Jehovah is Yeshua is the word, but Jehovah's word of words, the living word that still works today. If this is powerful just in some type of a wording here, why won't people take the true living word and live by it? Because we really do need to have protection, because some people are using this kind of stuff, and they've opened dark realms with it as well. There's a lot here that Jehovah was expressing to me. But again, Jehovah is the word, and he is the word in any way, shape, or form. How we use our words should be wise. Should be really wise. There's something huge here. The year that it gave for the victory over this war that is celebrated on this day was 1862. Which breaks down to an 8, the 8th house. Go back to the sea, where something could be sunk as well, where all this just came about. That's interesting. And an 8 is ongoing, an 8 is a secret, an 8 is money, sex, property, all kinds of stuff. It's huge. It's transformative stuff here showing up. There's an 8 ball here that I just drove. And anyway, I just want to share this. I'm fascinated when Jehovah will reveal some things to me. I'm sure there's a lot more hidden here, especially with the 8th house. You've got to read under the lines of things, because there are a lot of things around us every single day, people, that are positive and negative. When I see this stuff, it humbles me. And because we do need the protection of the Holy One. We've got people playing games with colors, games with words worded a certain way to get you to buy certain things or feel a certain way. And if we would use this stuff for positivity to help one another thrive, just think how beautiful our world would be. And we wouldn't sink. We wouldn't be prideful. We wouldn't be saying me, 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 and slamming our doors on people that we shouldn't and everything. We have household stuff here with the letter D. And we also have doo-doo. And I guess it's up to me and you how we play our game in life. And I want to play it in truthfulness and not have a game. But if we are going to have some type of beautiful get-togethers and do some things with family life, to do it in all integrity, okay? And anyway, I just want to share this. There's all kinds of different directions we can go with all kinds of conversations with stuff like this. And anyway, I didn't have nobody to talk to, and I just want to share it to somebody, so I shared it with y'all. Until next time, shalom.